This is Bravo Breaking News, and this week we're going to be recapping Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Can't wait.
I'm Kim Maikita, and this is my chief correspondent, Lisa Conan.
Hi, everyone, and this is Zoe.
This was one of the best episodes of the entire season.
I completely agree. I was loving every second of it. Well, loving and cringing, but yes.
Well, to cringe is to love. I mean, right? Like those make the best TV moments, really.
It's so true. So we picked up back at Dorit's house at the Homeless Not Toothless charity event.
You got the name right.
Thank you. I've been practicing Homeless and Toothless, Toothless and Homeless.
So Melissa has performed. We're back to the table. Yes, they're all gathering around Lisa because she is, I'm sorry, blaming everything on her grief, as per usual.
Yeah, and it's like, I get it, and I don't disagree with her that she kind of gets a pass, but at the same time, it's like, it's also classic Rinna to just kind of like realize that she's misbehaving and then either be like, oh, I don't remember that, or like, oh, I'm just going to start crying so like no one really gets on me. And
oh, exactly.
I could not stop laughing when they would show the faces of the people from the charity.
Oh my gosh. And then, so they're all gathered around Lisa, consoling her, crying, and then they're like, oh, you guys can leave. Feel free to leave.
You guys can get up.
Oh, do you guys want to leave?
They're not saying that like you need to go. They're saying
we don't care.
Okay, I'm just having dessert.
I was dying. I was like, what are you can't just say that. Like, how is this actually benefiting the charity? Like, I know she didn't make her friends buy seats for this event, which is kind of typical how you fundraise. Yeah, exactly.
Event, yeah. Which means like a long table like in her living room. So like we can use that term lightly, but yeah. And I mean, I'm sure Melissa Etheridge maybe didn't come for free. I doubt PK has that much pull.
I think PK wants us to think he has that much pull, but like, yeah, he probably paid her under the table.
Melissa Etheridge has no idea who PK is.
Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing. So bad. And then Sutton, kind of shifting the conversation to, onto Erika. And I think she had been kind of holding on to that. So she's like, throws out this, you said that I was a liability. Well, you're the one who has all these lawsuits against you. And everyone was sort of like, oh, clutching their pearls, like, oh my God, Sutton, how
dare her?
Yeah. And it's just like, I mean, she's not wrong. The woman has tons of lawsuits against her. And that by default, like makes her a liability.
Isn't that like the definition of liability? I mean, let's be real. Like there is no like bigger walking liability than Erika Jayne in this world right now. Everybody. Yeah. And then Sutton brings up the fact that she's had lawyers call her about some of the lawsuits.
I did get called by an attorney.
And she wasn't served or subpoenaed, but still like basically what she was scared of happening last season actually did happen. And who knows what's going to like how further it's going to go. But still, I mean, it's like Sutton's officially involved.
And I think that she did kind of bring that on herself by saying what she said at the reunion.
Sutton, you said that one of Tom's former partners left the firm because of shady business practices.
That was a rumor that I had heard.
I don't know what, is Erika paying them off? Like Lisa and Dorit and Kyle to like be at her defense because they're defending her to the death.
This blind loyalty makes no sense to me.
What else did we get? We got a good moment, a nice moment with Crystal and Rob, her talking about her eating disorder. And I thought the way that she brought it up to the women at the Black and Gold dinner was actually pretty level-headed. Like some people would be really pissed if they heard you were talking, a group of people was talking about your issue and you weren't there. But like she was pretty chill about it.
I think that the women like aren't handling it the way that they should. I think that Crystal's like dealing with it like in her own time, in her own way.
Totally agree. And that led us to one of my favorite scenes in the episode, which was Kathy Hilton coming over to Rob and Crystal's house and saying pretty much that exact same thing. I thought she had very, sound sort of motherly advice, like, you don't owe anyone anything. You don't have to like weigh in or whatever. And then, can I have a cracker?
Do you have a cracker?
Yes, what do you want?
I'm a little hungry.
She's basically saying like, okay, I know you may not eat, but I still eat and I'm hungry.
Oh my God, I didn't even connect that.
It was a little harsh, like that stark contrast from talking about an eating disorder to being like, can I have a snack? But knowing Kathy, like that wasn't her intention. She didn't even realize that that was happening.
Okay, that is so funny because literally that did not cross my mind. I think that I identified with Kathy so much in that moment where like I'm a person who always has to snack. Like I have to, if I don't eat every like 2.5 hours, I feel like I'm gonna faint. And so
Of course. And then
I would
her
be
at the
like,
airport,
can I have a cracker? Yeah, exactly. The airport.
she's like,
Is there any
little treats that I can eat?
So I related to that so deeply that I didn't even connect those dots of like that was insensitive,
and I don't think it was
but like I need a cracker.
basically. And also like Crystal should have had something out. You're inviting somebody like Kathy Hilton of all of the housewives to your home. Let's prepare just a little bit of cheese and crackers, like she had nothing. She had nothing for Kathy Hilton. Come on.
So you're not wrong, but I totally took it as like I'm just going to pop over on my way home. Like not hey, Kathy, come over and we'll have a glass of wine. Like I thought it was just like, I'm just going to stop by.
Well, they did
I wouldn't put anything together.
They did act like they didn't know she was coming. Like they were having like this serious talk. And then you see Kathy coming down the hall like, hello, is anybody home? Watching like Crystal and Rob like scurry around the kitchen, like opening this gift basket that they just got.
Oh my God, well, we've got this whole beautiful basket that just arrived today.
Yeah, just something to nibble on.
Are you a blue cheese person?
No.
Gouda?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have a Diet Coke or something?
And a napkin?
Yeah, and a little
glass
napkin.
with ice?
Oh, a little napkin.
Would you like it in a glass?
Sure.
It's like that level of service is something Kathy's used to, and you got to give it to her.
But like when we just get these moments of like pure entitlement, but like in the most endearing way, I just love it so much.
That's Kathy. She was hungry. She was going to ask for a cracker.
I drive all the way here and this is all I get.
We have yet another Rinna beauty party. I feel like we've had like 500 of these for some reason. Like
it does feel like we've had a lot, and I think this is only the second one. So I don't know what that says.
I think it says that although I kind of want to try a Rinna Beauty lip kit, like I'm also kind of over it at the same time.
I sent one to our other mutual friend, Lisa, for her birthday, and she said it was good.
Okay.
So it makes more sense to me than Rinna Rosé.
Totally. Rinna Rosé, I mean, come on, that's a stretch. She mentions how last season she had her launch party like in Crystal's backyard, and this season she could do it like way bigger, way better. But it's basically just a new venue and a theme, but the same bitches.
The same people, like the same 8 people.
Like not a husband in sight, not a plus one, not
and 2 random disco dancers.
Which they weren't even that good. I don't know. Like I'm not a dance professional, but I feel like I could have maybe done that. They had to talk about homeless, not toothless. I mean, who's not talking about
homeless
that this
toothless,
week?
Toothless and homeless, homeless and toothless, toothless and homeless.
The Toothless and the Homeless Foundation.
Forgetting about the toothless, not homeless charity.
Nobody can get it right. And it is honestly hilarious. And Dorit, of all people, goes after Kathy for laughing about homeless, not toothless. I mean, why didn't she go after Rinna at the charity event who totally blew up the event in front of all of these guests, yet she doesn't say a thing to Rinna.
No, you're totally right. And I wonder why. I think it's because maybe she just had to move on to Melissa Etheridge so quickly. It was like, yeah, okay. We have a performer.
What the hell is that? Melissa Etheridge.
True.
Maybe she just didn't have time to get into it with Rinna, but I see what Dorit was doing because she doesn't want to make a mockery of the charity, you know. And
well,
she
it's
doesn't
too
want
late.
People, you're totally right. You're totally right. That was definitely something. And then when Kyle was trying to like correct, but then also said it wrong.
And then we have Kathy chiming in, you know, I've worked with the homeless. I've worked with the toothless. I understand how important this charity is. Like,
what does that mean? I've worked with the toothless.
I mean, I guess she was a dentist in a past life.
I do dental work.
Do you?
How many
And
wives
haircuts.
did that have?
Freelancer, just
Wait, Kyle, random story.
Call back to her like weird at home DIY dentistry. The disco party was like the 4th time this season that Kyle has just blatantly stirred the pot. Like, so obvious where it's not even fun. It's just like, you know, she tries to get Sutton to talk about something. Sutton's like, I don't want to talk about it. And she's like, okay, great, I'll get someone who does. And then just goes, Erika, what do you think about this? You know, and it's like, oh my God, like, I get that you're on a show and you need to keep moving things forward, but like, at least make it feel a little more organic.
It's like she doesn't have anything she's bringing personally to the storyline this season. So she's acting as the kind of the pot stirrer. It's exactly, she's the bone collector. She's the pot stirrer. If somebody tells her something, she's going to go right over to the other person and say it, or better yet, ask them in front of the entire group.
Right.
Erika basically says that Sutton is a hindrance to Garcelle really becoming friends with the rest of the group. What do you think about that?
I don't think it makes any sense. And honestly, like, Garcelle's her own person. She has never come across as someone who's like gonna, you know, not do something that she wants to do on behalf of like someone else.
I can say anything I want to say.
So can all of us.
We all can.
Okay.
I don't think anyone's running Garcelle's mind except Garcelle. So
No.
It just didn't make any sense. If anything, it's almost an insult to Garcelle.
I just want to say for the record, I don't think we're done with the word liability. I think that Sutton is going to latch on to that. It's going to be the new violated.
Violation is a little strong.
It's not.
Violation is.
It's not. Violation is a big word.
Look it up. It's not.
And I feel like it's going to span the next 5 or 6 episodes. We're going to discuss the definition. We're going to discuss what it means. We're going to get into it.
I totally thought the same thing. Sutton was trying to say something and couldn't quite get her thoughts out properly. And then Erika kind of made a joke like, oh, and I'm the one with the drinking problem, implying that Sutton couldn't, you know, form a sentence because she was drunk, which obviously that wasn't the case. She was just trying to like be very careful with her words, because we all know words are very important to Sutton. And she doesn't want to be clumsy with her words. She kind of made that little, you know, jab, and then she looked at Garcelle and was like, ma'am, you know, kind of like, okay, let's, you know, I know that you're calling me an alcoholic, so let's get into it. And I don't know, the whole thing, again, I'm like, I don't think Garcelle did anything wrong. Like, yeah, she was, you know, kind of going around asking people about it, but it's like, Erika was displaying concerning behavior. Like,
well, and then Garcelle was like, so yeah, exactly. You've like you know, you've concerned me a few times. And Erika's like, three times. Like, okay, like that's, you know, 3 times. Okay. But it's kind of getting, if it's repeating itself over and over like that, like
3 times is a pattern.
That becomes concerning. Exactly. I loved when Erika was like to Garcelle, she was like, well, you know, these women would know whether I had a drinking problem because these women are the closest to me. And then Garcelle just like, God, I know. You tell that to me all the time. Like, She's
Yeah,
over the
it
Fox
was
Force
like-
5 just like everybody else.
Oh, completely. And then we get to the best line in the whole episode.
I got together with these ladies and I said, does Erika seem like something's happening with her?
Okay, but is that to make Erika look bad, or is that out of genuine
Erika,
concern?
I don't have to make you look bad. You can do that on your own.
So epic. It's giving like Atlanta level shade. Like the comebacks that the Atlanta ladies have are beyond, like the things that they think of in the moment to say are just spot on. And Garcelle was giving that. This was the moment, in my opinion, that she earned her center diamond for next season.
Ooh, big claim. I don't disagree. I think Garcelle and Sutton are superstars, and Sutton started off rough for me this season. I was really annoyed with her reaction to Dorit's robbery. And you know, she went through some little valleys down here, but lately she's really been bringing it. And I think you're right. I think her and Garcelle are giving center diamond energy, and I'm loving their friendship because it actually does feel genuine.
I feel like Garcelle and Sutton are bringing genuine conflict and storylines with all of the women, and I'm living for it.
Same. So speaking of next year, I feel like there's a lot of like rumors. There's always a lot of rumors online, but you know, talking about who's going to be coming back next year, who's not going to be asked back next year. And the two that I kept seeing this week were Rinna and Diana are going to be saying sayonara next season. What do you think?
We did see that. Shout out to Dumois, always giving us the inside Bravo info. You know, okay, Diana, did we mention her once in this recap? No. I mean, yes, we did get the piano moment with Asher. And yes, that was something that will go down in Housewives history. But her herself, she's not bringing it. I can see her getting cut. Now, Rinna, it's tough for me because Rinna was my favorite housewife at one point across all franchises. When she first started, she was my ride or die.
Oh my God, completely. And I remember we bonded over this like way years back. She was hilarious at first. Like I loved her.
She's gotten a little bit too produced. It's like, you know, I saw something about how, you know, people are talking about the older days of reality TV where it was a lot more authentic. You weren't really aware of the cameras, but I feel like Rinna is really putting on a show these last few seasons, and it doesn't come across as genuine or authentic to me. And I think the audience can tell that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on the fence with her because as annoying as she can be, I also think that she does make for good TV. And she is just, I mean, she's a mess and she kind of owns it, baby. But I don't know, maybe we need a break from her too.
Maybe she should be put on pause.
Put on pause.
I'm not sure she would ever come back from that, honestly. I feel like she would take that harder than Dorinda.
Oof. Love her or hate her, you're still talking about her. So
that's true. And then we have Aspen coming up, which I think that it kind of seems like she plays a big part in the whole Kathy Kyle takedown. At least, you know, she's in that room kind of mediating that sit down between them. So I'm interested to see how that all plays out.
I'm so curious to see what we get to see, because I have a feeling that we're not going to get everything. Like we're not going to get the whole story.
No.
Unfortunately, but I do think it was very telling what you posted earlier today. Paris Hilton posting an image from the disco party of Garcelle, Sutton, and Kathy in the photo booth saying, "My faves, I live for these queens." And missing from that picture was her aunt, Kyle Richards.
I have a feeling, you know, Kyle and Kathy are not in a good place. I think, you know, Just like Kathy thought Garcelle was Kyle.
How are you? Good.
Wait, I thought you were Kyle. I'm not kidding. I'm like,
I get that all the time.
Like, I think that was kind of like a foreshadowing of where we were headed, because now Kathy and Garcelle are super close. You know, Garcelle has almost kind of taken the place of a Richard sister at this point. So I don't know. We'll see.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm excited.
And that was this week's Beverly Hills recap. Stay tuned for next week.
Oh my God, that was so fun.